You know what's good for you, you'll get in your fucking vehicle.
Well, folks, we have another Jussie Smullet here. This guy completely fabricated this story. For one, you can see above his shoulder in the video that he's got Shell gas station numbers. He says in the video he's at the Shell gas station in Xenia, Ohio. I think it's Xenia or something, or they don't quite say it like we do. And there's only 3 Shells in Ohio, in Xenia, Ohio, right there. So I did some digging around and investigating, and I actually called up the show. And I found the show that this gentleman was at that night. The lady identified him. She said it was a black man. He kind of had a little bit of a beard going on. He was in like a white civilian hoodie with dog tags hanging out. And for some odd reason, he spent about 20 minutes at the gas pump doing stuff out at the pump. Said something about he was driving across town to drop his vehicle off or something. He was going on deployment. I says, really? It's exactly the gentleman that I'm looking for. That's exactly the story that I'm looking for. And I said, ma'am, he put out a video on social media stating that there was an older white gentleman that was in the Marines for over 20 years that had looked at him inside your gas station and had said something to the extent of, I can't believe they're still letting people like you join the military. And she said that never happened. There was never an older white gentleman here that was in the Marines for over 20 years. She said it kind of struck me because his dog tags were hanging out, and I come from a military family, and I know military guys don't really leave their stuff exposed like that. And I said, no, it's part of a dress code. You normally tuck them in, and you don't have them hanging out anywhere. And she said, yeah, that's what I'm used to as well. And she said, and then he went out to the gas pump and was out at the pump forever. I don't know, I have no idea what he was doing. Well, he was out there trying to fabricate a storyline. He was trying to build a story up to clickbait millions of you people out there so he can make a ton of money off of you guys. He is in the military, and he made this whole entire story up. He's another Jussie Smullet. And I thought to myself, okay, so everybody can pick up on this guy's story. One thing that I noticed nobody mentioned is how he went from walking out of the gas station, the old man going to his car, and then the son popping up out of the car, and then him saying, if you know it's good for you, you better get back in your car. And then he just automatically sits down in his car and waiting, and it goes right back to videoing instead of actually looking around and trying to make sure the kid's not coming towards his vehicle. You know, I'd be like looking over my shoulder like, is this guy going to come over here and do something? Is this guy's kid going to come over to my... He immediately goes from looking out in the distance like this, like he's talking to somebody, and he says, you better get back in your car, and then he immediately sits down inside his car and goes right back to recording. Who does that? The guy's whole story's made up. It's another race bait story. It's a complete lie. And I didn't hear anybody talk about actually calling the facility to question them, so I did. It was all fake. Complete fake. And everybody in that town has now heard about the fake story and what a fool this guy has made of himself, of making up this lie, this thing that happened that never actually happened. And he should be ashamed of himself. And this is just so you guys know I'm not lying to you. 937 area code today at 6:30 a.m. I called to get this story. And they're a 24-hour gas station, so I figured he looked like he was there late at night. I might meet the person that actually saw him. And sure enough, I did. So, if you're going to be out in public and you're going to be making up stories, make sure you cover all your tracks as you're doing it, so people don't have to come after you and prove that you're a liar. That guy's definitely a liar. Race baiting, Jussie Smullet having... Just, people need to grow up. People need to do better. This guy's obviously hunting for money and attention, because in his videos he's like, oh, I just hit 1,000. I just hit this. I just hit that. He wants to be known for something. He wants to be known and followed and idolized. And he's a piece of shit. Take care.